Hey guys, welcome back to Edu Kingdom College. Hope you're all doing well. We'll be doing Power Reading Test 29 today, so let's get started. So this is the poem for questions 1 and 2, so please take a screenshot if you don't have a copy. So for question 1, we're looking at the purpose of this text. So why do we think the composer would write said poem? So in this poem, it is most likely the poet's intention to. So please keep in mind the most likely. We're just kind of speculating. We want to look at the overarching theme or the main message of the text. So I wanted to bring your focus to the extract at the bottom right corner. The women were always quiet and somewhat apprehensive of the bush medicine, so they were hesitant to try it because they were most likely unsure if it was going to work or it was unusual, unfamiliar, etc. Now the wise men say that there might be something in my grandmother's cure and the leaves that flavored it. So at first the women were hesitant to try the bush medicine, but now wise men, we can probably assume that these wise men or just wise people would be maybe doctors or people of academia. I only hope that one day they too would be sure. So they're hoping that they would accept bush medicine as an actual practice rather than being so hesitant because it's so unfamiliar to them. So really that shift in hesitancy and acceptance is the ultimate goal that the composer has, and it's really communicated well in this poem through this extract. For question 2, what word best describes the poet's attitude towards her grandmother? So when it comes to best describes the poet's attitude, we want the overarching feeling or perspective that the composer has. So personally, I would like to get this answer from a short piece from the poem, but you can actually get the answer by reading the poem like as a whole and understanding it holistically, but I got my answer from the last 2 lines. I only hope that one day they too would be sure. So the composer, Helu Taman, I think is how you pronounce it, seems as if they really do believe in what the grandmother practices. So they really think that bush medicine is real and actually works. So in that sense, there's no sense of doubt or anger. There's no hesitancy or aggressive emotions to it. It seems like there's a lot of trust, and because there's a lot of trust, that there's a lot of respect for that. There's a lot of admiration, looking up to the grandmother for healing and utilizing bush medicine to heal. I don't believe it's D at all, because D would be in reference to feeling sorry for someone and wanting to help them, and or just feeling bad for them in general, and that's not actually what's being communicated here. There's just a lot of admiration, really. Admiration or respect, I think, would be great words to answer question 2. So before we begin actually answering the questions, let's just get a good feel of the text. So it's titled Making Mascara because the interviewer is actually interviewing this lead singer of the group Killing Heidi called Ella Hooper, and they're talking about the song Mascara. This song Mascara is about standing out, expressing yourself, and not being afraid to, well, express your individuality and just kind of ignoring the criticisms behind it. Let's get started with the question. So for question 3, how did Ella's parents empower her? I literally just searched for the word parents because any words relating to parents, like guardians, upbringing, childhood, raising child, etc. Those are the key words and similar words that you can look for, so you can get your answer just quick and fast. So the only time where she really mentions her parents or describes her childhood is around like lines 30-35. I'm really lucky because I was very empowered from the age of 6. My parents are really good like that. they're totally accepting, broad-minded people, and I've always been around all kinds of people. So it seems as if Hooper has been around quite diverse people, and it also seems as if her parents were quite supportive, and she felt really empowered. She felt really uplifted, and just really good. So the only feasible answer in that case would be D. They exposed her to a wide range of influences because that is how Ella's parents supported her, by allowing her to explore different senses of styles and fashion. And yeah, please note that the question is asking what methods the parents use to help uplift Ella. So they're asking specifically for what the parents did, not the influences of Hooper's personality. In question 4, they're asking us to engage with certain lines from the text. So, what is the song Mascara about according to Ella in lines 41 to 50? So, whilst we can look at the text holistically, the question is asking us to look at these 9 lines specifically. So, if we look at the extract at the bottom right corner, I want to focus on the green highlighting that I've put in there. The song explains that you've got to go with what you feel is right on the outside, and on the inside, just be who you are. So Ella is really encouraging us to express our true selves, right? So she is trying to say that individuality is most important, that our unique selves and our expression of that is what is important, right? And what is true, it is true to ourselves. It can't be A because she only slightly mentions that, but that is not the main focus of what she is saying. She talks a lot about individuality and the troubles of expressing yourself. It can't be C, outward experiences are deceptive, because she's actually encouraging us, or her audience, that we should express ourselves through our appearances. So we're not deceiving people. She's encouraging us to be truthful and honest with our appearance so that it reflects our personality. And it can't be D, adolescence is a difficult time, because once again, the main focus is on individuality and how she wants to encourage you guys to express who you are through your fashion. Similarly, in question 5, we're being asked to do the same thing. So we have the question itself: what do Ella's actions in the classroom reveal about her personality? And then we have assigned lines 57 to 59. So in the bottom right corner, I would be one of the only ones up there and letting go and not caring about looking like an idiot in front of the whole class. Let's just focus on that sentence. I just put in the last 2 words because that is technically a part of line 59, but it's incomplete, so let's just disregard that. So we have options A, she's an introvert, B, she's an extrovert, C, she's a conformist, and D, and she's a rebel. So introvert means someone who likes to keep to themselves, who prefers small groups, or likes to just be by themselves. Extrovert is the complete opposite, someone who likes to be in groups of people, whether it be slightly bigger or like really big, someone who's very outgoing, and they just prefer that outgoing lifestyle over being, I guess, by themselves or in smaller groups, which is an extrovert. So complete opposites there. Similarly, conformist and rebel are the opposites of one another. So conformist is someone who just follows the rules, fits the idea of whatever society's standards are, like whether they be beauty, work, etc. Rebel is someone who goes against that. So in this part of the extract, I want to focus on not caring about looking like an idiot. So here she's actually demonstrating like being in a group, so we can easily knock out A. So we have B, C, or D, but then she says that she would be one of the only ones up there letting go. So we can't say it's C because she's not conforming. She's not just following society's ideas. She's standing out. So we have either B or D. Now, something I really want to point out is that to rebel, often you do this for a reason. You do this because something is wrong in whatever is like in society. But here, there's not really too much of a serious issue that she needs to rebel against. She's not rebelling for the sake of pointing out a flaw in society. She's doing it because she wants to. That's just who she is, right? And also knowing that she's doing it in front of the whole class, she's probably someone who likes to be outgoing. So the answer in this case would be B. Not to say that someone who rebels is someone that just wants to go against the system. It's just that someone who rebels or is a rebel points out a certain flaw in society, something that's wrong or something that should be broken or revised. In this extract, we're just seeing her reveal her personality, which is just someone who doesn't really care and wants to relax, and just wants to have fun and be loud and outgoing. So that's why the answer would be B. For question 6, what is Ella's main criticism of many students at her school? So I just found an extract where she mainly talked about her hardships in class, not high school in general, her in the classroom. So please keep that in mind. So A, they like to name call, B, they can't be imaginative, C, they can't relax and participate, and D, they like to make fools of themselves. So I got it from this extract at the bottom right corner, and I just highlighted the points where I did get the conclusion. So it was like, let go. They didn't even want to express themselves at all. So these parts of the extract really only point to C. They can't relax and participate. Let go refers to relaxing. It refers to just like letting your guard down, not being so tense. And participate, they didn't even want to express themselves at all. So they didn't want to engage in fashion or expressing unique fashion styles. So that's why the answer would be C. That's also one of her overarching messages in the song, which was to stand out and just chill, I guess. If you combine that idea with this extract, then you'll also go back to C. So for question 7, we have, what contradiction does Ella see in the behavior of young people in lines 73 to 95? Sorry about that. I want to bring your attention to the fact that they say contradiction. So we're looking for two opposing ideas, basically. Or if you guys are familiar with what hypocrisy is or being a hypocrite is, so two opposing ideas or two opposite ideas. So she actually goes on a little bit of a rant in 73 to 95. It's almost 20 lines, but we shouldn't get too off topic. Remember, we're looking at a contradiction. So if we look at, say, A, they conform to an image by dressing differently. A says that they conform to an image by dressing differently. This image in 73 to 95 is that people dress in all black because they think it's fashionable to look depressed, or they just think that wearing all black is fashionable, right? But the thing is, by dressing in all black and thinking that you're being fashionable and unique, you're not actually being fashionable and unique, because everyone is dressing in all black and everyone wants to look depressed, which Ella says is quite harmful, and I personally agree. So that is the contradiction there, right? Because people want to look unique and fashionable, but they are all dressing the same. They're all dressing in all black, so no one is actually standing out. B, C, and D are not contradictions. They hide individuality under black clothes. These two ideas need to oppose each other, okay? By hiding individuality under black clothes, that's not a contradiction. That's just something that people might do. They hide it. C, they are being fashionable by appearing depressed. Once again, not a contradiction. They're not opposing ideas. D, they use body image to create self-esteem, not a contradiction. So yeah, the only feasible answer here would be A. Question 8, why does Ella have such respect for Annie DeFranco? In the extract, just look for Annie DeFranco. That's the easiest way to get your answer. So in the extract I put in, I love strong women who have their own identity and their ambition. I listen to a lot of Annie DeFranco, and she's very empowering. So Ella admires her very much, respects her very much as well. But she is a lot more powerful in the way that she puts that across me. So across than me. So Ella is basically saying that Annie DeFranco is someone that she finds is inspirational, but she's much more effective in communicating her empowerment than Ella herself. So she's better at communicating, she's better at writing in that sense. To clarify, Ella believes that Annie DeFranco is better in communicating the messages of inspiration, motivation, and empowerment than Ella herself. In question 9, on what issue does Ella disagree with Annie DeFranco? We are still on the topic of how Ella views Annie DeFranco, or Annie DeFranco in general. So we're looking for an issue that Ella disagrees with. So I just got this part a little bit after the one in question 8. So Annie really dismisses girls who aren't empowered. So Annie doesn't really look at girls who don't feel motivated. But I don't think that's right. It's not their fault. So Ella is actually defending girls who aren't that motivated or who aren't as brave as Annie herself or Ella. So that's what she disagrees on. She disagrees that girls are to blame for their lack of power, or D, because Ella thinks that it's not their fault. She thinks that there's many other factors as to why girls aren't feeling empowered. If you look a little bit closer in the extract, she'll list her reasons why, but basically in this short sentence, Ella doesn't believe that girls are the only reason as to why they're not motivated, that there are other societal pressures as well. And lastly, for question 10, what is the interviewer's attitude towards Ella? So we have admiration, adoration, cynicism, and indifference. So throughout the extract, we've been shifting from the interviewer and Ella. And you will mainly see that just when Ella does open up about her experiences and does respond, because we're seeing a specific response to the question, or she's talking specifically about Mascara, the song. So if we look at this extract, this is from the very beginning, so I just kind of backtracked a little bit. This is when the interview is speaking to the audience and they're talking about Ella. There's this sense of respect we have here, especially in the last 3 lines here. Ella really understands the pressures of growing up, standing strong, and figuring out who you are. So it sounds as if the interviewer is really impressed by the fact that Ella is so mature, right? Or at least very well versed. So immediately we don't have C and D. Cynicism kind of refers to like an evil perspective, right? Like a bad perspective. So we can't say that because the interviewer seems impressed. And indifference is apathy. So when you don't care, or it doesn't really make a difference in your life. So it's not D, because they seem to be quite engaged, interested, and once again, impressed. So we have either admiration or adoration. There's a very big difference with these words, even though they sound similar in terms of how you spell them. So admiration has got to do with respect, looking up to someone, right? Maybe even feeling inspired by them and motivated as well. But for B, adoration, that is also kind of like admiration. You respect someone, you might be inspired by them, but adoration refers to a personal love, right? Like a personal relationship. You might see people saying, "Oh, I adore you" to like their partners or something like that, that's because adore is often used as as a synonym for love, right? So there's no personal love here. It actually seems quite at most it seems platonic, at most. So we can't say it's B because it's not a personal love. This interviewer also does not seem as if they have a personal relationship with Ella, and if they did, that would be wildly inappropriate. So the only feasible answer would be A, admiration, like a sense of respect and being impressed by someone's achievements, and not having a deep-seated love, personal love for them. So that's it for the entire test. Thank you to those of you who have sat and listened to me speak for like 20 minutes. Yeah, once again, really sorry that we went over, but here are just some key points that I thought would be really helpful. So one, ensure all answers are derived from a piece of text. I know as a for a fact that I always say this in like every single video, but your answer should be based on reason and evidence, and it should be based on what the composer has tried to communicate to us. Unless the question is asking you for your opinion, then don't put that in, because a lot of these questions are comprehension. They're asking you about the text. How well can you deconstruct the text? The text, sorry. I also put in, allow yourself to understand the composer's perspective or stance, even if you disagree with it. Take it as a chance to learn more and widen your perspective. So basically, even if you don't want to believe or you don't want to look at the person's perspective, just have a go, like take a look at what they're at their perspective and try to understand it. But if you, even though you're trying to understand it, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with it. It's more of just looking at the text objectively. Yeah, so just take it as an opportunity to, I guess, learn more about the world if you want to look at it like that. Secondly, be mindful of the specific words the questions use to trick you. So I have been kind of underlining certain words in the questions because they can get really specific, and being specific with these words is what will really help you answer these questions fast or get the best possible answer you have. So precision is key. Be careful. Revise these words and add them to your vocab if you don't know them, so that when you do see them again in another test or just in life in general, you already know what it means and you don't waste your time having to look it up. And also know that in tests, you don't get access to a dictionary. Thirdly, if you don't know the words, start with the ones that you do know and then use the process of elimination. So figure out what the answer isn't and then work from there. Yeah, so these are my 2 points from the test. Once again, really sorry we went over, and yeah, have a good week, guys. Take care and bye.